Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the East Hawaii Center for Spiritual Living. For those of you, if there's anybody out there that doesn't know me, I'm Reverend Cathy, and welcome to our group. And this morning, our musical artist is Alicia Merlady Bonnet, and she will be coming to us on video this morning, and after her first selection, we'll have our pule.
So welcome, and this is a sing-along about inclusion and action in your life. So we're going to put different qualities in. And the first two are grace and gratitude, and I'll be saying them before we sing them. So here we go. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body grace and gratitude. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body grace and gratitude. 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 Oh, let me soar through my heart's opening door. Oh, let me be what I came to be, to create the vision that I see. Okay, love and forgiveness. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body love and forgiveness. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body love, forgiveness. Love and forgiveness. Love and forgiveness. Love and forgiveness. Love and forgiveness. Oh, let me soar through my heart's opening door. Oh, let me be what I came to be, to create the vision that I see. Strength and kindness. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body strength and kindness. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body strength and kindness. 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 Oh, let me soar through my heart's opening door. Oh, let me be what I came to be, to create the vision that I see. Okay, it's your turn now to think of two qualities you want to put into action this week in your life. And you can say them or sing them when I hum. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body. Good job. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body. I'm hearing ya. Last two are happiness and peace. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body happiness and peace. Oh, let me feel in every cell of my body happiness and peace. Happiness and peace. Happiness happiness and peace. Happiness and peace. Happiness and peace. Oh, let me soar through my heart's opening door. Oh, let me be what I came to be, to create the vision that I see, to create the vision that I see, to create the vision that I see.
Hi there. Are we not doing the poulet this morning?
Oh, we do that, sure.
Oh, never mind. Let's all join in on our opening prayer. Okay. So right in this moment, I am centering myself in spirit, and I know that you are too, as we stand together in the consciousness of the one mind, the one power, the one presence that we call God. And we know that there is never any separation despite appearances. We know that God in us, as us, is us. And we just remember this as we unite again in this consciousness of the one. So I'm knowing today that this is a beautiful Sunday service where everybody hears something that deepens their conscious contact with Spirit, or something that makes them laugh, or something that makes them think. All in all, knowing it's all God and it's all good. And I'm so grateful. So I know that in the serenity of the moment, we are able to see the good. We are able to see the possibility. We are able to help bring it about through our thoughts and our prayers and our meditations. So I'm knowing that peace is always possible and that we are a part of bringing that about. So I release this treatment right now, knowing that it, as always, individualizes perfectly for and as those listening. And I just say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. And we close the prayer by saying, and so it is. Okay, so please, at home, help us to welcome Sandi Alstrand, who will be doing our creative thought this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I think I have to take my glasses and my mask off. So, the theme for this month is inclusion in action. And so I thought that I'd talk about something that's close to my heart, and that's ecological inclusion. So, and also the human and non-human animal relationships. So it's vital while we're focusing on more inclusiveness for humans to also include non-human animals and all living things on our planet. We need to realize and embody the fact that we are irrevocably bound. So we all know that we have a history of exclusion in our relationship with non-human animals and the environment. I think we all kind of recognize that. In a paper I found by Rod Binnison from Newcastle, Australia, titled Ecological Inclusion, Animal Welfare and the Total Environment, he states, in order to overcome, or if not largely minimize this exclusion, the overriding aim should be to establish the foundations for a new interrelationship that is more respectful and caring on the part of humans, and one that may alleviate, at least in part, some of the ecological problems that ensue from practices and policies of exclusion, and thereby enhance the greater ecological whole within which all reside. So on a spiritual level, I believe that the Centers for Spiritual Living and our center, I think we are very inclusive of not only humans, but non-humans and the environment. We have our World Day of, I don't remember what it's called, but we honor the earth, we honor other animals. But that's not true in the world outside of this bubble that we call Center for Spiritual Living. It's not true, as we all know. So what are the things that we can do to become more ecologically inclusive and inclusive of our non-human creatures that share this planet with us? Well, I think the first thing that we can do is to become aware. So when we're out on the earth, just become aware of the trees and the plants and the animals that are around us, and know that they're a part of us, just like Reverend Cathy and Dennis are all part of me. So, and I need to include them in my awareness of how to treat them. So some people, one of the things or some of the things that people do to become more inclusive, some people might become vegan. Others might do more to cut down on products that are harmful to our environment, like Roundup, like plastics and things like that. You might want to join a group that works towards more inclusion of animals and the environment. And there's a group I read about called Animal Save Movement, whose mission is diversity and inclusion. And I'm going to read their guidelines. I like this group because they talk about being inclusive and working towards more animal inclusion, but doing it by being inclusive of humans too. So they're not putting you down for not being inclusive or for your practices of eating meat or whatever. So their anti-oppression statement it's a vegan, anti-speciesist, and animal-centric organization that positions itself against all forms of oppression and implements the understanding of anti-oppression with a compassionate and love-based approach. I think love-based approach is kind of the key there. We believe in nonviolent resistance against oppression. So I like that. So that would be a good group to kind of look at some of their teachings. So there's one more layer that I struggle with. I mean, I feel that I'm pretty inclusive of animals and the environment, but what about insects? They are non-human entities that share this planet with us. And I have trouble being inclusive about fire ants, termites, mosquitoes, fleas. But why am I being species exclusive with them? Well, this same man, Rob Bennison, talked about how we can, sometimes when a species invades another area and is creating, where a species is becoming extinct and another species comes in and makes it worse for that group, that is it moral to kill or remove that other species so that one species can live? So maybe that's kind of how I feel about those creatures like fire ants that are hurting my cats and dogs, and the termites that are destroying our house. But and why are butterflies and ladybugs some insects that we love, but we hate cockroaches? So it's a difficult issue, and that's the one I'm struggling with. I'm trying to be more inclusive of even the little crawly creatures, because I believe if we're truly to be inclusive beings, if we are trying to be inclusive beings that respect all life, we have to think of all life. So that's it, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sandi. Now I'm feeling guilty because I flushed a cockroach down the drain this morning. May he rest in peace. But that is an important reminder, very important. And now again, it's time for our musician, Alicia Merlady Bonnet.
Learn to appreciate the present moment. Don't want to waste my life away. Learn to appreciate the present moment. This I pray we do. Well, let's stop and appreciate the present moment. The one we're sharing, me and you. Oh yeah, we're sharing it, me and you. Sharing me and you. We're sharing it, me and you, me and you, me and you. Sharing it, me and you. You, me and you. Living for the future or caught up in the past. These are both illusions, neither one can last. The past can teach us lessons, and the future sure looks bright. Yet how we live each moment is what we must keep in sight. Oh, learning to appreciate the present moment. Learning day by day. Learning to appreciate the present moment. Don't want to waste my life away. Learning to appreciate the present moment. This I pray we do. Well, let's stop and appreciate the present moment. The one we're sharing, me and you. Oh yeah, we're sharing it, me and you. Oh yeah, we're sharing it, me and you. Oh yeah, we're sharing it.
Thank you so much, Alicia. We so appreciate all your contributions to our music this past few months. It's been wonderful. And now it's time to introduce our speaker, who's visiting from the New Visions Center in Phoenix, Arizona, Center for Spiritual Living. And she just finished her last ministerial class yesterday afternoon. So she will soon be a licensed Center for Spiritual Living minister, and we're delighted to have her with us. Her name is Beverly Strutt, but I am going to say please welcome the soon-to-be Rev Bev.
Oh my goodness, that does make me smile. I know that they are still going to ask me to wait a while before I can use that terminology, but anyway, good morning, East Hawaii Center for Spiritual Living. I tell you something, it is just such a joy to be here today. And I know that you guys are all on the other side of the camera, but I want you to know that I can feel you as if you're sitting right here where I can touch you. It is so important for any of us that step up here to know that, to feel that, to know your presence, that you are one with us right here, right now. So, I just got back to the Big Island. Let's see, it will be 3 weeks ago tomorrow. So you all know that in order for me to do that, to be standing here right now, I had to go through 2 weeks of quarantine. Real quarantine. I wasn't allowed to leave the property. I wasn't allowed anybody to come and see me. But here's the key. I was able to stay in this beautiful, beautiful little bamboo ahana that my beloved friend Karen opened up to me. However, not only did she open the house to me, she cooked for me, she ran errands for me, she shopped for me, She even made me beverages. I tell you something, what a blessing that was. We would occasionally sit on our separate couches with masks on and binge watch some television with some really good cocktails. It does make quarantine go a little easier, but I will tell you, it gave me a whole new understanding of what it means to be truly in isolation, to not be able to go even across the street. Now, you might be thinking, well, who would have known? Nobody would have known. Absolutely nobody. I could probably have even gone down to the end of Makoo, to the cliffs, and sat and seen the sunshine. But I had made this commitment to myself, first and foremost, to the government, and I made it to the island. And you know something? That was the most important thing. Because what I want to do when I step foot here on the island is to be respectful, to stay in integrity, and to know that everything that comes forth from there comes in integrity, because we are one. We are of one mind, we are of one atmosphere. And I think when we stay in that beautiful place in integrity, we get to work and step forward with such a light heart and such a great intention, and we can create from that space. So that's part of the story. Some of it will come up later. The part where I got released. That was a goodie. That was a real fun. I was running around the deck, and the guy on the other side of the phone was going, I can hear your excitement to get out and play. And it was truly exciting. But I want to get back to what we're going to speak about today. Yes, our monthly theme is Inclusion in Action. And the title for today is Let's Get Together and Be All Right. It's so appropriate that we had that beautiful, almost reggae sound right before I came up here, because that is a Bob Marley statement. Let's get together and be all right. And it speaks to this inclusion of humanity in all things. Well, I know that next week we have Rabbi Rachel standing here. And there's nobody that does it better than her. When she speaks to diversity, inclusion, social justice, and she has even said that when she has that opportunity to do it, she's going to stand here and do it, and I revel in that moment with her. So I'm not going to do it. I am not going to go there today. I'm going to go in a different direction. So what I want to speak about today, I've just changed the title just a smidge. It's Let's Get Ourself Together and Be All Right. Let's get ourself together. No, I'm not going to say ourselves. It's going to be a personal thing. It's going to be right here, just directly personal. We're going to focus a little bit on what it is we do before we go out into the world. So I'm going to read a quote from Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching. He says this: since each of us represents an individualization of the nature of God, there is freedom in circulation of divine love, reason, peace, joy, and perfection through the human. But we must cooperate with this wholeness of life if we wish to be made whole. We must first cooperate with the wholeness of life if we wish to be made whole. So why do we wish to be made whole? And what is it, this wholeness that I'm speaking about? Well, it's about coming into alignment with who we are, into truly coming into alignment. You know, we speak about the alignment of the mind, the body, and the soul. And why do we do that? We do that so that we get to create this beautiful vessel, this clear passage that Spirit gets to move through us. We get to work it out so that there's none of our personal obstacles in the way. You know, and even when we think that it's all going on perfectly, I mean, when I was in quarantine, I had this time, and I had this beauty right outside my window, and I was joyful. I had communication. I was able to read and study and to deepen myself into all of this. I felt like I was in perfect alignment, complete alignment, clear. Spirit used me. All those beautiful zenny things we say to ourselves. And then I woke up with one morning and I realized there were two words that were showing up for me: patience and trust. I was like, what is this? Patience and trust. I'm patient. Yeah, maybe not so much. Maybe not as patient as I would like to be, or maybe as patient as I should be. And then trust. I have always, always, always trusted in the divine source, the power and everything. So what was in that I needed to look at again? So I did. I dug a little deeper, I looked around it, and I was like, what is this about these two words? And you know, more than anything, it's realizing that there are still, right here, right now, and tomorrow might be something different, two things that I need to look at to really come into alignment with who I am so I can be a clear vessel for the divine. And you know, even last week, Rev. Cathy spoke about the Tao and the way, the path. And what it really does, it shows us the way back to our authentic selves. So that is what I was looking at when I was seeing those two words. I'm like going, there's something to be worked on to see spirit at its fullest in, through, and as me. So why do we do this? Why do we do it? Dr. Ernest Holmes says this: the highest perception of mankind has been his sense of this inner oneness with spirit. The more completely we become conscious of this divine union, the more power we have over our own existence. The more completely we become conscious of this divine union, this union that we've cleared the path for, the more power we have over our own existence, our own experience, how we show up in the world. So why do we want this power? Why do we want to do this work? So that when we come from a place, we come from a place of wholeness. We want to come whole, healthy, complete, which is the authentic self of who we are. So we take the time to go there. We lay down the judgment, the guilt. No, we don't. We don't lay it down. When we come into wholeness, we want to bring everything with us. Everything. We leave nothing out. We don't just look at the beautiful shiny pieces that we love to look at. We don't. We look at the shadowy parts. We look at the ugly parts. We look at, oh my goodness, why did I say that at that time? That was so inappropriate. And it was just not what I was feeling. No, we don't lay any of it down. We don't look at the I'm not enoughness. We bring it in. We scoop it up. We bring it in. We bring it in even closer because it is a part of who we are. This does not get in the way of creating this beautiful vessel for the divine. Not at all. It's the awareness. It's the awareness, and even the awareness that Sandi spoke about, the awareness of what's around us, what's inside of us. It's that awareness that creates that beautiful vessel, that bringing us back to that wholeness. And it's like, why do we do it? Well, why do we even want this wholeness? So that when we do step out into the world, when we do step out into being that inclusivity where we want to bring everybody together to us, we're ready. We're ready for it. I mean, even Dr. Ernest Holmes has always said a practitioner, when they pray, prays for themselves first. They know for themselves first the wholeness of themselves, the wellness, the joy, the love, the prosperity, whatever it is, they know that for themselves first. And then they can pray for everybody else. I mean, it's a little bit like, you know, on the airlines, they say, put your mask on first before you help everybody. In fact, it's exactly like that. We want to get in there and feel that oneness with all that is. Because if we can be at one with all of our little things that don't look good, then we can be responsive, we can be receptive, we can be open to everybody else's little things, because we all have them. Every single one of us. And we don't go to judgment right away. We don't go to they're not enough or I'm not enough right away, because we've done that little work around it. And we must. Because ultimately, when we see that in another person, it's because we haven't looked at it in ourselves yet. Yeah, I don't like that part. I'm like going, no, I'm all good. It's that person over there that's got the problem. Yeah, no, not so much. It's actually, they are showing us the little part of us that we really need to look at if we really want to become whole and we want to be inclusive. Yes, I love it when Dr. Holmes says the practitioner, they fill their own consciousness with the truth about spirit. Its completion, its satisfaction, its wholeness. So even if we're not practitioners, even if we're no way even thinking about it, it doesn't matter. This is where we begin. We begin with that place of knowing the wholeness within, so that we can know the wholeness of humanity, so that we can hold that place for them. So how do we do this? Yeah, we go back to spiritual practice. Yep. But you know, spiritual practice is not just sitting and meditating. Practice is looking, thinking, touching, eating, dancing, drinking. It's all a part of it. Spiritual practice, every act, every breath, and every step can be practice and can help us to become more ourselves. That comes from Thich Nhat Hanh. It's a beautiful quote where he shows us one more time that the little things in our day-to-day are our spiritual practice, because it's all about bringing an awareness of who we are, our authentic selves in this present beautiful moment. Now, my favorite practices, I remember speaking about them last time I was here. My favorite one is awe. Going and being in awe. I remember I spoke about it. I was driving through Pahoa all the way over, going down to Uncle Robert's. And I came over that last hill, and I saw the expanse of the ocean. Ooh, I can still feel it inside me. It just got me all up, and I just knew that this moment was unique. There was a moment in time where I felt so at one with everything, with everybody. It was that awe where I realized that my own little baby self melted into the wholeness of the universe in that moment in time. And in fact, you know, science, spirituality, and the brain, they've come to see that this is not just something us Zen people feel because we love being in nature and we love that feeling of connecting and communing. No, the brain actually makes a difference when we're in that place of awe. We actually can rewire our way of thinking, our default mode network. Oh, my professor would be so proud of me right now that I could actually say that and bring it into a talk. Our default mode network will take us to the first possibility of survival. So most of the time it's negative. But if we do this practice over and over and over again, we get to realize that we're not watching a lion running towards us, that it's an emotion we might be feeling, but we respond in the same way. So we can actually respond a little differently. So when we do our spiritual practices, not only do we open the space for authenticity and oneness with the divine, we open a space of real calmness with us. And then the other one that I really like is having some fun. You know, I've noticed with the different groups that we've gotten together with on Zoom, that has been an important part. You know, we do the morning meditation at 7:30. We have the lower circle on Thursday. And of course, we have a Wednesday night get together. And then, of course, our healing service, should I say, our get together is on Sunday, right after this service. And every single one of those, I've noticed people say, I want to have fun. I love playing. I haven't let my young one out in a long time to play. Yeah, we need to do that. You know, as children, when we play, we get to know who we are. We get to know our interaction and connection with everything around us. We need to play. And I have been playing during my time in quarantine. When I was still in Arizona, I was painting rocks with neon paint. Oh, that was extreme. No, I was painting them with neon paint so that I could put them in my driveway or out in the house, and at night I could see their glow. I was etching on wood with those hot tools, burning on wood. I was doing puzzles. Oh my goodness, I am the puzzle queen. I think I did 7 or 8. And that is a meditation. When you're so focused on creating this beauty out of not knowing where anything fits and you allow it to come together, that is what life is. That is what life is. And then, of course, I love doing my binge watching. That is fun. And as Karen would know, in between every one of the episodes, I get up and I dance around. I dance to that music. It gets everybody going. It gets my energy lifted, and I just love it. We are having fun. And you know, having fun is joy is the echo of God's life in us. I read that. Joy is the echo of God's life in us. What greater thing do we have to do here but to live life to the fullest, to be that expression of the divine right here, right now, in everything. And when we do that work to become inclusive with ourself, only ourself, all the pieces, we've brought them together, loved on it all, created this beautiful thing. We can walk out into the world and be inclusive with everybody around us. We get to walk as a beneficial presence once we have done our work. So if we want to live, really truly live in this atmosphere of inclusivity, this is what we need to do. All right? We really need to do our personal work. We really need to clean up our internal environment. We get into that beautiful feeling of alignment so that Spirit is working through us. We reveal wholeness so that we can truly experience oneness. So, looking at inclusivity in action, I truly believe that it begins with us, with ourself first. But remember this above all else. We need to choose to do this. We need to choose to do the work. We need to choose to show up. We need to choose the desire to be this whole, healthy, complete, beautiful expression of the divine. We need to choose wholeness. And then in turn, we can choose the experience of oneness. We choose life. We choose inclusion. So yes, we need to choose. And I charge you with that as we walk through this week. Find awe around you in all that you do. Have fun with everything that is going on. Allow your inner child to come out and play. And as you do this, feel that alignment opening up inside you. Let everything come in and be present so that you can truly be that beautiful little expression of the divine. And I'd like to close with this beautiful little piece from Reverend Jane Beach. Today, I will start where I am. I choose wisely and trust that in every moment I am co-creating my life with an intelligent universe that knows who I am and says yes to the tendencies of my thoughts. With optimism and faith, I imagine the best outcome for this moment, trusting that whatever I can imagine already exists. I believe that life is on my side and I can say yes to it. So let's just take that all to prayer. So as we breathe in, we know in this very, very present moment that we are here as expressions of the divine in all our beauty and all our magnificence, exactly as we are and exactly as we are not. And I know that as we walk our path with this desire for greater inclusion in the greater humanity in the world, knowing that no matter what you look like, no matter what you believe, no matter anything, no matter any part of you that is different to me, that we are one. We are one in all that is in the magnificent spirit of the divine. And so I know for each one of us, as we walk our path this week, that we walk it gracefully and we walk it knowingly, that no matter what we're feeling, we have an opportunity to take the time to sit, to meditate, to dance, to be in awe of all around us, allowing for that feeling of wholeness and oneness. And I call this good. And I just release this knowingness into the universal action of the law that always says yes, where Spirit says, yes, my beloveds, yes, you have set your intentions, you've expressed your desires, and it is done, and it is done magnificently. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Beverly. Your passion is inspirational and your joy is infectious. And we'll be hearing again from Beverly in a couple of weeks before she has to go back to the mainland. So stay tuned. She'll be back. All right. So now it's time for our virtual collection. And once again, I must just say thank you so much to those of you who are continuing to support us through your financial ties. And for those of you who don't know, it's easy to make a donation by PayPal or by credit card. On YouTube, the link is in the video's description, and there's a donate button on the top right of our YouTube channel page. We also have PayPal links on our webpage, hawaiicsl.org, and checks are also gratefully accepted. And if you need to have our address, you can find it on our website. We thank you for keeping us afloat and paying our bills and just staying together, even though we can't touch each other. As Beverly said, we can feel you. We can feel you, and we love you, and we thank you. So please join with me at home in our prosperity affirmation. Divine love, in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is. Okay, it's time for our third and final selection from our musician of the day, Alicia, Merlady, Bonnet.
Talking about that we are taking care of ourselves, our community, the Aina, and the earth. And I know that Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa helped us out during this last hurricane by their winds kind of pushing off that hurricane. So I want to dedicate this song to the Aina here in Hawaii. Yeah. You can sing along if you'd like to. E malama I ka hea, e malama I ka hea, e malama pono I ka hea, e malama I ka hea, e malama I ka this land in sacredness. Earth and sky, sea and stone, hold this land in sacredness. E malama ikahea, e malama ikahea, e malama pono ikahea, e malama ikahea, e malama ikahea, e malama pono ikahea,
Thank you so much, Alicia. That was really powerful. Appreciate it. We have a couple of announcements. We want to remind you that our Wednesday night healing services are available to you, and the Zoom link is in our weekly email. And I want to remind you that we are now using the same Zoom link for every program we do, whether it's Aloha Circle or our Wednesday evening service or directly after service today, our social get-together. And we call it the virtual sanctuary, so we hope we've made that easier for you. It will be in the weekly email every week. And I also want to remind you that unless we hear further from the governor, we will be doing our reopening for the first Sunday, next Sunday, and we're all full up. We can house 29 people, and we have 29 reservations. And I'm encouraging those of you who are on that list to get here early so we can get you all checked in and ready to roll by 10 o'clock. I'm excited. I'm so excited that Rabbi Rachel will be here to launch this. So it's a good thing. And after our prayer, directly after, will be our Zoom social hour. So you might want to be getting ready for that if you want to join us this week. And now I want to close with a closing prayer. We've enjoyed a beautiful, powerful, inspirational Sunday together. And I know that we carry this into our week. We carry the message to be in awe, to be aware. We carry the message to be cognizant and kind to our animal friends, even the cockroach. And we hear the message, beautiful message conveyed by our music today. So we're very grateful for all of this, and we know that Spirit has been showing up for the Center for Spiritual Living in so many amazing and magnificent ways, and for this we are very grateful. So I'm knowing and declaring for each of you that are watching today that this week upcoming is a peaceful, prosperous, abundant, joyful week for everyone here. And then each of us does the spiritual practice that most awakens us and stays consistent with that, whatever it may be, knowing that each time we are communing with Spirit, we are increasing our joy, increasing our love, increasing our power. So I know that we all dedicate ourselves to whatever our own spiritual practice is, knowing that as we dedicate ourselves, it spreads out and affects our world in wonderful, positive ways that we may not even be cognizant of. We know the power of Spirit. We embrace the power of Spirit. We are the power of Spirit in action. So I'm just releasing this right now with great joy and great conviction, knowing it's already expressing, it's already being made manifest in, through, and as each of us. And gratefully, I close the prayer by saying, and so it is. So thank you for being with us again this week. I hope to see you on Zoom in a few minutes. Take care, be safe, know that you are loved. Aloha.
Hi folks, Adam here. I hope you can join us right now over in a nice Zoom meeting so we can see each other face to face and come up with the closest thing we can to coffee and fellowship after church. So if you're watching on your computer and you're watching in full screen, you might have to hit the escape key so it comes back to a view kind of like this. And then if you move down here, you'll see the description of the video. You might have to click on the show more, and there's the link for the Zoom. So now all you have to do is click on that link, and it will take you to the next page, and hopefully you've already got the Zoom app installed. If you've never used Zoom before, it'll offer you the choice to download and run Zoom. Otherwise, you can just get to open up your Zoom app, and you click on that window, and now there it goes, and it's opening up, inviting you to join with your computer audio. Yes, that's what you want to do. And voila, you'll be in the room. If you're watching on your mobile phone, it's similar. You might have to scroll down from the YouTube video or click a drop-down menu so that you can see the description of the YouTube video. And in that description, you'll see the Zoom link, and click on it, and there you go. You're all invited to the Zoom meeting, and very quickly you will see all your friends. Thanks.